46 days on from the last Premier League game of the season, we're still none the wiser as to which European competition Palace and Forest will compete in. Here's talkSPORT's Max Scott with everything you need to know about this weird, extraordinary case.
So Crystal Palace's European future is still very much in the hands of UEFA. On Wednesday, Lyon's appeal against their relegation from Ligue 1 was successful, meaning they keep their place in France's top flight. Crucially, that also means they'll hold on to their spot in the Europa League thanks to their 6th place finish last season. But it does mean Palace's position is still precarious. The man at the centre of this storm, of course, is John Textor. He's since resigned from his shareholder role at Palace and stepped back from the day-to-day running of Lyon. But at the time of both clubs' qualification to the Europa League, he was involved in both clubs, and UEFA say that breached their multi-club ownership rules. They essentially blocked 2 clubs from being allowed to compete in the same competition. There's so many questions for Palace fans at the minute. Why didn't Textor and the top brass at Palace resolve overlapping ownership issues by UEFA's deadline of March the 1st? Why are UEFA even considering kicking Palace out of the Europa League when John Textor's involvement in the club was so minimal? And how has he let both clubs get into such precarious positions? Well, he's going to be joining Jim White and Simon Jordan live on talkSPORT this morning to answer those very questions himself. Now, it's still unclear what UEFA will do here, but they do have to make a decision. If Lyon were relegated, it would have been easy for Palace to stay in the tournament without any rule breaches taking place. So here's the possible outcomes of this astonishing case. If they rule against Palace, Nottingham Forest will be bumped up to Europe's 2nd tier. Or UEFA could be kind and allow Palace to stay in the Europa League as we all expected at the conclusion of last season. But in an even more shocking turn of events, UEFA could also decide to kick Palace out of Europe entirely, meaning arch rivals Brighton would qualify for the Conference League. We'll get Tex's view on all of this when he joins Jim and Simon later this morning.
Oh, I forgot about that Brighton one.
Oh, imagine Brighton getting in as well. That'll hurt. The fans wouldn't be happy, would they?
Pleased to say we're now joined by Palace legend with a microphone in his hand, karaoke king John Salako. John, how are we, pal?
Karaoke king.
Morning, guys. You gotta stop all that Brighton talk.
How you doing, John? I think the last time I saw you was at when you gave us a beating at at the Hammers. I saw you in the box, didn't I? How are you?
No, brilliant. Our away form was absolutely sensational. Yeah. But to be fair, Carlton, West Ham were terrible at home. And again, that was another bit of a gift. But look, it was such a special, incredible end to the season. Obviously, winning the FA Cup was just an absolute fairy tale for Palace. Typical us, typical. We always have to do it the hard way. And it looks a mess. And, one thing people may be overlooking here, like I was involved in that side in 91 that finished 3rd. I don't even remember. Liverpool were banned after the Heysel Stadium disaster. And UEFA, we finished 3rd and should have been in the Champions League, or should we say in the European Cup. They allowed Liverpool back in. So UEFA have got a history of screwing us over.
Well, how do you see this going, John? So Forest could get an upgrade, Brighton could get an upgrade, Palace could be kicked out totally.
Wow.
What's your gut feeling?
Do you know what? Every Palace fan's just got everything crossed. We're hoping and praying that it's going to be okay. Look, Marinakis at Forest has done everything to push Forest forward. He obviously got his he changed ownership. I think he put it in some sort of special trust to his son, all the Forest shares. Then sort of kept Olympiacos. So look, we're not used to being in Europe. I know the fans are absolutely looking forward to it. It'll be a dream come true to be in there. Obviously Josh Woody Johnson has come in, the owner of New York Jets. So, that he's going to look like he's going to buy Textor's shares. So that could really take the club forward. So everything just looks so positive, but I don't know. UEFA, obviously if they're sticking to the ruling, they're going to say, look, you should have got your house in order by the 1st of March. You should have known this was coming, or at least anticipated it. Or they can say, oh, look, Textor's not really involved, and he's got a lot of commitment. Steve Parish, who's doing a fabulous job, he runs Palace. Look, let's just run with this. So hopefully, fingers crossed. But the fact that it's sort of running on and it's been delayed, and Lyon have now won that appeal, and the top flight doesn't look good.
Does this put a slight on multi-club owners? Because when you're looking at this now, although that they've got the best intentions, they want to get the clubs, their respective clubs, into European competitions. Is this a massive lesson and a massive learning curve for multi-club owners? And is this the way forward, or is it just, do you think they just need to just own one club and that's it, and then you build on that?
Yeah, brilliant question. It's something that's on our lips. It's an elephant in the room. You know, all these billionaires, they set up these funds and they just buy up clubs around the world and sporting entities. You know, the Saudis do it, you know, the Qataris do it, and these billionaires around the world, you know, the Man United ownership, Fulham ownership, and as much as they you know, they're bringing big money into the Premier League, and it is the biggest league in the world, and you know, it's bludgeoning on. But yeah, that has got to be addressed. I mean, you know, the Marinakis of this world, and you know, I don't know where it ends, and the Premier League really need to address that. But you know, while you know, sort of the making hay while the sun's shining, and I completely understand them wanting this massive investment coming in, and it's a tough one.
John, I would imagine as well the likes of Eze, who's a great player, and Gay, you know, this could really point to where their future is, how this decision goes.
Absolutely. I think that's something that I think is they're waiting on, really. Obviously, as I said, Woody Johnson's come in, who's going to come in and say, I'm going to put big investment in. I think what Oliver Glasner would have been saying to the boys is, look, you know, we won the FA Cup, we stick together, we go again, we go into Europa League, and let's see what we can do. You know, it's a tight squad, but if that will be a hammer blow if we don't get into Europe. And I'm sure Eze's, he wants to win things, Gay wants to win things, Mateta and the boys, and it would be perfect for us to be in Europe and just go again, and you know, Palace go on a European tour. But if it doesn't happen, that's going to be a tough conversation all round.
By the way, he was good last year, wasn't he, the centre forward?
Oh, Mateta. Mateta. Yeah,
well, he came on a ton, John, didn't he?
He was like Carlton Cole in his height, Alan.
Mate, I did see a little bit of me in him. Like, I'm not going to lie, I was looking at him, I was thinking, I like that player. There's something about him. Then I looked at my games and I was like,
Carlton, he's quick.
That's me.
No, he's quick.
Oh, yeah, I was quicker than that.
Carlton, you've coached Carlton. I don't know what Oliver Glasner's done, but since he came in at the end of that season, Mateta 13-13, and then just that aggression, that power he's running, that belief in himself, and you know, that desire to score goals, and the line. He's a great lad in the dressing room. He's funny, you know, but you know, he's a real big character. But you know, as a centre forward, you just want to go out there and you want to be powerhouse and you want to score goals. I mean,
John, I watched him when he was younger for France under 21s, and he was a powerhouse then. I was thinking this boy might have a future if he gets it right. He just it was like me back in the day as well. It was I just needed an arm around me and just say, listen, you're going on the right path. And then I think that's what Glasner's done for him. I think he's just said, listen, you're my main man. Everything's going to go through you. You're going to occupy 2 or 3 defenders, and then you're going to create space for others. Also, he's added to his game. He's shooting from outside the box. He's a handful, and it's more than a handful because he's doing it with class as well. His end product's been unbelievable lately. So he's onward and upwards with it. He'll be looking at this saying this is another opportunity to be seen in Europe, and that's what he wants, because that's where. But if he doesn't get that, he'll be looking at this as a big disappointment.
Well, do you know what? It will be, but it's still, you're obviously playing in the Premier League and looking to finish in the top half and getting into Europe again. So hard. Exciting, but it is difficult. But, you know, the whole team, you know, the way the wing-backs bomb forward, Nunes, obviously right, you know, Mitchell on the left, and obviously, you know, the team's flying, and it will be a massive blow if we don't get into Europe. But let's stay on the positive side. I think this is going to go our way. Come on, we've got Liverpool in that Community Shield.
It's my local team, John.
John, my last question is: where is it today? Golf course, Lords, Wimbledon, or the Ned?
Oh, do you know what? Wimbledon would be lovely, but no, it's Hever Castle today for a bit of golf day. So I'm running late now that you've on it, but I don't mind speaking to you, Alan.
John, take care. Have a great day. Thanks, pal.
Cheers, John.
Bless you. Thank you.
Nice
Cheers,
one.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.